Hey everybody, Jake Reichbart here. Today I'm going to share with you a lengthy lesson excerpt. So have your guitars ready and we're going to have some fun together arranging a song. Perhaps you've seen some of my many hundreds of solo guitar arrangements I have here on YouTube, and the inspiration for these arrangements is right here behind me, as you can see. I grew up with these vinyls, and I draw pretty much from any kind of style imaginable from the pop music of the past 100 years, everything from Glenn Miller to Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth to Motown, and pretty much anything in between. Beatles, I have perhaps 25 Beatles song arrangements, 20 Steely Dan song arrangements, same for Stevie Wonder, rock, hard rock, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and of course tons and tons of classic jazz standards from the 40s and 50s, bebop, dance tunes, movie themes. And if you want to learn how to arrange any of these songs for solo guitar, I can teach you. Just like the excerpt that you're about to watch, which comes from a lesson that runs about 90 minutes, I have nearly 200 additional titles, and they are mostly song specific. I enjoy teaching through specific songs because I can show you hands-on how I approach arranging a song. What's nice about these lessons is that I don't just tell you, do this and you're done, but rather I'll take you through 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to play the same passage. I'll work with you on dynamics, on articulation, and 100 other things that you cannot just put to paper. As I mentioned, these lessons run approximately 90 minutes. The introduction, which runs usually 15 minutes, focuses on the right hand and rhythm, and in this introduction I go through my 3 pillars of rhythmic arranging, the first principle being melody and bass only, the second being rhythmic arpeggiation, and the third, of course, the down stroke that I play with my right hand fingernails to produce that backbeat that everybody asks me about. Nevertheless, I do have 2 main method lessons. The first one, how to arrange any song for solo guitar, running 2 hours, and also an introduction to fingerstyle guitar and solo guitar arranging, running 2 hours and 40 minutes. The information about these lessons, the cost, my full lesson list, as well as a link to the full performance of the song that we're working on today is below in the information. So expand the information, take a look, and let's get started. As I mentioned, the chorus has a melody that is a little bit more, to my mind, more precise, and I try to copy that as best as I can. And coming out of the D11, we have 2 pickup notes, as we mentioned, the D and E, and with me, Doctor Who. So there's going to be several ways to voice this, or to finger it. What works for me, what's convenient for me here may not be convenient for you. You might want to do it this way. But at any rate, the notes are the same. If you're keeping it to this major 9 type flavor. So let's see what this is. Basically, it's a G major 7 chord with a G in the bass. I also add the notes E, A, and here's your 5, the D, and the major 7, the F sharp on top. Now I play it like this, which is a little awkward for most people, I guess. You may want to reverse these 2 fingers. And also, the way to play the melody can depend on how you finger it. In my case, there are 2 ways to do it. I can do it, add it with a pinky. Sometimes I do it by bending down that second finger. I'll do it both ways. If you're going to do it this way, which I find most people are more comfortable with, then it's a little easier to squeeze that pinky in there to get the G. So at any rate, or notice how the melody is syncopated and the bass comes in on strong beats. Right there. At the end of that phrase, we're still in G. Melody is D and E. At the end of that phrase, the melody changes now to D, E, and we're playing the open E, but if we're going to play the open E, we have to remove that first finger to enable that to ring. Whether you do it this way, it doesn't matter. First of all, if all you have is just the G, D, and F sharp, you're fine. Now, the flavor of the chord had this 6 and 9 in it. If I remove the finger, all that happens is that I'm playing a D and a G, which is two perfectly good notes, so there's no problem if you have to let that go. What's more, it only happens for such a brief period at the end of that phrase that it hardly matters at all. What is important that we play the melody D, E. What we have now is a B flat major 9, and I might play it like this, like a proper major 7, or I might play it with a 9, or both, or alternating. And this is a familiar shape. We've done it earlier in C, so it would be kind of an F over B flat. If I play it like this, as a proper major 7, I would have to let go of the D to play the G, which is my next melody note. So you can just do that and switch, or just start by not bothering with the D at all, and add the G when ready. At any rate, so like I said, in the first fret we have the notes B flat, F, A, C, and the melody note on top is F. Add the G with the pinky on the first string, 3rd fret. The chord is the same, we're still under the same harmony, but I have this melody note now, which is an A, which forces me to change position to something a little bit more comfortable. And what I do is I play the exact same voicing I played in G a moment ago. And I just love that G to B flat major 9. That sound is really pure Steely Dan, if you'd like. So in this case, I have a bar now on the 5th fret. I play the B flat on the 6th fret with either the 2nd or 3rd finger, as you choose, as well as G, C, F, and A on top. So and the melody now is the A to the F. Very clever. Everything stays the same, the melody and portions of the harmony, but the root changes. We have a new chord now. It's going to be an E flat major 7. But because we have an A in the melody, and after we let go of it, let go of it, we let it ring and proceeded to play the F, it keeps ringing. It is a sharp 11, so if you have to give this chord a name, and we don't have to give chords names, we just have to play the music, but if you had to, you would say that this is some kind of a major chord with a sharp 11 in it, which makes sense. That's your 1st degree, that's your 4th degree, and a 4th degree major chord tip is associated with a sharp 11, even though you don't have to play it every time. But if you're going to play a 4th, it's going to be a sharp 4th. So after you played this syncopated note, you add the note, you switch from the B flat to the E flat. So at this exact moment, we have E flat, G, C, F, and A. So let's take it from the top of the chorus. Right there. After that, I add 2 melody notes. With my pinky, I get the D on the 3rd string, 7th fret, And once again play the F. Next chord is a G minor 7, third position. So G, F, B flat, and D. And the melody notes are D, B flat, B flat, C. Next up, C minor 9, which is identical in shape to what we've done in D before, but now here in the first position. So the notes are C, E flat, B flat, and D. And the melody notes are the D, C, C, D. F 11 or sus in the first position. So I have my F down, the 7th, which is the E flat, which I keep holding, and the B flat, which I keep holding. Melody now, E flat with a pinky on the 2nd string, 4th fret, slide down to D, back to E flat, and pluck the F. And return to this G major chord. Put together up to this point. Moving on to the next part of the chorus.